guys. Let's talk about naked Italian guys. Do I have your attention? Good. The statue of David. It was made by Michelangelo. He was 29 years old. First time I heard about it, I think I was probably in middle school. Probably thought it was funny because he was naked. And when you're in middle school, naked is funny. But as I got older, probably early adulthood, I started to really appreciate the statue. A few years ago, I was lucky enough to get to go to Italy and go to the Accademia in Florence and see the statue of David. You go into the Accademia and you approach through this corridor and you approach the real statue. And as you get closer, you realize this 17-foot piece of marble is amazing. When I got to it, the emotions kind of came unexpectedly. At first, when I was standing in front of it, just nothing between me and the statue but a red rope. You standing in front of him, facing forward, face to face, kind of, with David. And you start to realize the magnitude of this 12,000-pound piece of marble that Michelangelo sculpted. You start to take in its size, and then I worked from the front around to his left side, and on his left side, he's holding a sling. And that's whenever you start to really take in his gaze and his movement. And you almost feel compelled to look where David is looking. It's almost like Michelangelo wants you to look where David is. As I kept walking around to his back, you see these muscles that Michelangelo brought forth from the marble. And then finally, when I got to the right side and that oversized right hand, that's where my emotions really came through. I felt almost, it was just pure awe. I was almost drawn to tears. It was just amazing. Do me a favor, make a fist and look at it. Look at your knuckles. You'll see that knuckles have divots. Looking at the hand of David, Michelangelo got that. He used his own hands as a model, and he got the veins, the divots, everything. How does it inspire me? This piece of marble's flawed. Nobody wanted to work on it. Two other artists worked on it prior to Michelangelo. But Michelangelo was the one who was able to look at it, see the figure within, only take away the stuff that needed to be taken away, and draw out David from the marble. That piece of marble was carved after two other artists said, no, this piece of marble can't be used. He only took out the stuff that weighed David down and let David, which was already in there, show for himself. Michelangelo didn't feel he was good enough to make perfection, so he actually gave David a squint out of humility. So despite the perfection that we see, Michelangelo didn't see that. He still saw himself as humble and not worthy of the perfection that we see. So that's how I'm inspired by it. So that's the story of how I feel about the statue of David. I forgot to tell you why it's my favorite. David is vulnerable. He doesn't have a physical protection on, but he's looking over the horizon waiting for his foe to appear. He's vulnerable. But vulnerability does not equal fear. As a guy, that's important. It's okay to be vulnerable. Doesn't mean you're afraid.